Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Banker Next Door podcast. I am your host, Dr. Joe Berquist. Today, we're going to be talking about the corporate athlete. Now, this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Health and personal fitness are so important to our everyday lives. But for anybody who's working in the corporate world, whether it's banking or anywhere else, it's very important over the course of a long career. If you're planning on working 30, 40, hopefully 50 years, you have to take care of yourself, and you have to make sure that you're keeping up not just your mind, but your body and your spirit, and keeping all those things together at the same time. And I wanted to share an article that I came across. This article, a teacher of mine, when I was going through a doctoral program at Wilmington University, one of my teachers shared this article with us, which was a Harvard Business Review article from 2001 called "The Making of the Corporate Athlete." And I want to share this with everybody real quick. So just to read, from the excerpt here real quick. So some executives thrive under pressure, others wilt. Is the reason all in their heads? Hardly. Sustained high achievement demands physical and emotional strength, as well as sharp intellect. To bring mind, body, and spirit to peak condition, executives need to learn what world-class athletes already know. Recovering energy is as important as expending it. So this article was written by Jim Lower and Tony Schwartz, like I said, back in 2001 for Harvard Business Review. And it goes into, ideal performance state, kind of physical capacity. And then I want to get down here to the high performance pyramid. And this is really what I wanted to focus on here. So you have the physical capacity is your foundation, which basically builds endurance and promotes mental and emotional recovery. The second building block is emotional capacity, creates the internal climate that drives the ideal performance state. The next block is mental capacity, which focuses physical and emotional energy on the task at hand. And then the final point of the pyramid is spiritual capacity, provides a powerful source of motivation, determination, and endurance. And what kind of glues all these things together is rituals that we go through day in and day out. So you have the physical capacity, your emotional capacity, your mental capacity, and your spiritual capacity. And you have to take care of all these things in their time. And if you can do this, you can help yourself to maintain a high level of performance throughout your entire career. I would send this message out to a lot of the, I would say, millennials and the Gen Z out there. It's very interesting. And I think I was probably this way once upon a time, when you're in your 20s and 30s and, you're just kind of starting out in the corporate world and you're working your way up the ladder, kind of finding your way. I think you can keep a very short-sighted view of everything that's going on, and you're not thinking long-term. I think it's kind of weird. I don't think anybody when they're starting out thinks about the fact that, okay, if I'm 25, I'm going to be doing this for 40 years. I'm going to be doing this till I'm 65 or maybe even 70. And that's a long time. And if you're going to make it that long, and not only if you're going to make it that long, but if you're going to perform at a peak capacity, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself physically. You have to take care of yourself emotionally. You have to give yourself, as you expend energy, you also have to replenish that energy. You've got to give yourself time to recuperate, not only physically, but also mentally and emotionally. A lot of people work for a long time to get to a certain place in their career. In other words, say, you wanted to become CEO of a company. Well, it could take somebody 20, 30 years to get to that place. And it's not just about getting there. Once you get there, you want to do a great job and you want to perform that job at a high level. You have to. If you're at the top spot, you have to perform at a certain level. And so you have to maintain yourself over time. And that's really what this article gets at. It's basically, just learning not only how to expend your energy to create peak performance, but then how to replenish yourself, how to keep yourself in peak physical condition, peak emotional condition, so that you can be the very best that you can be day in and day out throughout your career. It talks about having a firm foundation. And then here's some of the tips that it has in here. I'm trying to think go back to the first. So actually do all those healthy things you know you ought to do. So it gets into a long list of things in here, which I'm not really going to go through every little thing, but and then it gets down to some of the other things. Go to bed early and wake up early. Maintain a consistent bedtime and wake up time. Seek recovery every 90 to 120 minutes. Like, in other words, make sure that you're taking breaks throughout the day, and that, maybe you're giving yourself a snack, eat a, health bar or granola bar or apple or something like that. And then finally, do at least 2 weight training workouts a week. I think ideally, you should try to find 3 hours out of the week, preferably 3, if you're thinking 3 days a week, 1 hour, 1 hour at a time. And two of those times should be some level of weight training. Now, I know what a lot of you are going to say, especially if you've been in the corporate world for a while, hey, I'm married, I've got kids, I've got a million things going on. Maybe I'm very religiously active. Maybe maybe I serve on a bunch of boards. I've got a lot of networking obligations. I've been there, done that. I've served on nonprofit boards. I've been, sat on boards of chambers of commerce. Been involved with all different kinds of networking groups. I'm married. I've got kids. It's like so. I understand completely how life can pull you in a million different directions. But I still find time to work out. I still find time to work out at least 2 times a week, and I love it. And I will tell you why. That I find that period when I'm working out is such a stress reliever. Some people might think that, oh, well, working out is it's adding stress because you're doing a strenuous activity. For me, it's the exact opposite. Like, I find it very stress relieving. I find it's like one of the few, moments of the week when I can actually find peace and kind of quiet in what I'm doing, and just kind of focus in and just clear my mind, focus in on the task at hand, just whatever workout I'm doing that particular day. And again, it's just, I find it very, very refreshing. It helps me to kind of reinvigorate myself as I get through. I particularly like working out on the weekends. Like, I love working out on like Saturdays and Sundays. And then, kind of sometimes I'm a little sore when I get up on Monday morning to go back to work. But but again, it's a very refreshing thing. And I think just some little things that I think you can do throughout the day, like, try to eat a really good breakfast to start the day. Try not to eat after, say, 7 o'clock at night. Try to drink a lot of water. Try to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Try to eat a very balanced diet of, chicken, fish, meat, different things in there. I know some people out there, might be vegans or might be other things, or practice other diets, I should say. But whatever it is that you do, though, just try to be consistent in that. Try to be consistent in taking care of your body. Make sure if you're taking vitamins, whatever else that you may need to do. And then the article does go on to talk about mental capacity. It's kind of interesting thing that it says here, have you ever suddenly found the solution to a vexing problem while doing something mindless, such as jogging, working in the garden, or singing in the shower? That's the left brain, right brain shift at work, the fruit of mental oscillation. So, and I would say, yes, absolutely. And that gets right back to the point that I was making about, how, I find it very relaxing, both physically and mentally, when I'm working out, and I just kind of clear my mind. And it's in those moments when, you kind of have that moment of clarity when things will come to you, and they have, which is great. And then it goes on to talk about spiritual capacity. If executives are to perform at high levels over a long haul, they have to train in the same systematic, multi-level way that world-class athletes do. And then here's kind of, companies can't afford to address their employees' cognitive capacities while ignoring their physical, emotional, and spiritual well-beings. Like, in other words, corporations have to give time for people to work out and to take care of themselves, and to seek, not only a physical, but also emotional and mental well-being. And and again, I don't think that can, I think a lot of companies do that and try to do that, but they don't necessarily execute on it, meaning that, maybe they're saying the right things, but they're not actually, giving back to, or maybe giving that time to their employees. So it's kind of an interesting thing to look at. But I would tell everybody, again, try to work out, try to exercise, try to maintain a healthy diet and a healthy living lifestyle. Again, it's hopefully a long career. Hopefully whatever it is that you're doing, you plan on doing it for a long time, 30, 40, 50 years. And if you are, the only way to maintain peak performance levels is to take care of yourself. If you have a chance, go check this article out. Like I said, it's the making of the corporate athlete. From Harvard Business Review. It's been out there for a very long time. I'm sure if you just do a simple Google search, it'll come up. You can find it. But check that out. I hope you found this podcast episode a little interesting. Like I said, I think mental health and physical health are just so critical. As you expend energy, you have to replenish that energy as well, meaning you got to take care of yourself. You got to give your time. You got to give your body time to heal emotionally, spiritually. So I again hope everyone found this a little interesting. Hope they'll go check it out. Hope they maybe get into physical fitness a little bit if that hasn't really been your thing. But make sure to go in and check out the website at thebankernextdoor.com. And remember, we're on Rumble and YouTube and all major podcast platforms. Please if you like what you saw, please give a like, give a share, and then leave a comment below if there's something else from a kind of corporate health perspective, whether it's more mental health or something like that you would like me to cover. Happy to dive into it. Just send me a comment. Let me know. I just did a couple other podcast episodes on the best business related movies. I did my first book review. So if you're interested in those kind of things, definitely check out those episodes. And I will have another couple episodes coming up here where we dive back into the business of banking. We're going to get into back into some of the economic indicators and just some of the major kind of news stories that are out there right now at the moment in the banking world. And so just stay tuned to check those out. Those will be out shortly, and hope to see you again back here real soon. So I hope everybody has a great day. See you soon.